problem, what is it, 615? Yeah, 615. So this is an example of what could be on the test. So make sure you review this in the solution key this next week to make sure you understand it if you don't get this correct. So the first thing we have to do is they give us the cost of the drivers. So we have material ordering, material and inspection, equipment setup, and QC quality control and other. So the ones that we have is number of purchase orders, number of receive reports, number of setups, inspections, and direct labor costs. So what I do, how do I get my rates? What do I divide? This is the homework. It's not in the book.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this particular problem is not in the book. Okay? So what do I take the what?
840 divided by 100.
Yeah. So you just do that for each one of these. So we got $7 for the materials. Inspections were $250. We have equipment setup at $20,000 a piece. $200 for inspections and $2 for other. So these are the exact same thing over here. We're just moving this information over. Okay? So the total overhead cost per unit, all we have to do is kind of add those together. Okay? Now, the activity for art. What are the numbers? I don't have those right here.
1,200.
1,200 for materials.
315.
315.
1. 500.
500.
And 150,000.
150,000. Okay.
You already have the calculation there for that.
Yeah.
That was already there.
Yeah.
I know it's that times that, but you already
Yeah.
had it set.
So what I do is I took the rates, the $7 times the number of activities, which is 1,200. And so that is 84. 250 times 315 gives me 78,750. 20,000 times 1 is 20,000. 200 times 500 gives me 100,000. 2 times 150 gives me 240. We have a total cost of $447,150. Okay?
So if you want the rate to
Yeah.
Not too.
No, you don't have to put that there. Okay. All right. So does everybody understand how we get that, right?
Wait a minute. 2 times 150 is 300,000, not 240.
2 times 150.
Yeah.
That must mean this rate is a little.
I got 1.6 when I divided it. Instead
Yeah.
of 2.
So if we go out a couple spaces, that's why.
That makes sense. Yeah, okay.
Okay?
That makes more
So I
sense.
wonder why you had to do that.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here, I was. 2 times 150 is
Yeah.
9.
So that's an example of the whole rounding issue, right? You know, if I had 2, it would have been 300, like you
Yeah.
guys were saying. But because it's actually 1.6, it's 240. Okay? Yeah. Okay? So make sure, again, you pay attention. Don't round until the end. Don't round to the end, all right? So now, to calculate the overhead rate per unit, what do I do? How many units did I produce? You have to look on the information. Yeah, the information on the problem is 30,000 units. So how do I get the rate per unit? Yeah, I take the 447 and divide it by the 30,000. So I take that 447,150 divided by 30,000 units. I get $14.41 per unit. Okay? So now what is the direct labor? Now to calculate the total cost per unit. Don't look at that. Okay? What is in the total cost per unit? Yeah, materials, labor, and overhead, right? So the total cost per unit is materials, labor, and overhead, right? So what is my materials per unit? $35, yeah, by the information, right?
Yeah.
The information says the materials is $35, right? What about the labor? $8 per unit, right? So I'm going to take the 35 plus the 8 plus my 1491. I get a total calculated cost per unit of $57.91. Okay? Now, right? Yay? Yay? All right, overhead calculated. This problem contradicts itself as it gives direct cost for it as 150, but also notes that it's $8 per unit. Either option below is correct. Okay. So if I take this, the total manufacturing overhead, and divide it by this,
Is that supposed to be part of 250 here? So that wasn't on the template.
should have been, because this is the template. Okay. Is there an E on the homework assignment?
Yeah.
There's an E.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, there's nothing on the template. Like what's on your template? There,
I downloaded this from Blackboard.
then you updated it since I downloaded it. This is not printed like template.
Maybe it should be there because I haven't touched this thing.
That's just like when you go to print that, it's like there's go down.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, go up. When you go to print that out, you see where it says cost pool? It looks like there's an address sticker on there with the same information. Even though it's not, you don't see it on there, but whenever you print it, it's there.
Could be. You should probably cut and paste it. All right. So if you don't have E on your thing, then you know. But suppose that Riverdale Printing allocates overhead by a traditional product volume-based method using direct labor dollars as the allocation base and one cost pool. Okay? Determine the overhead rate per direct labor dollar and the per unit overhead assigned to be part of the design. So if we do that, we go back over here. So basically what you want to do is you have total manufacturing overhead of $24,865,000. You have total direct labor costs of $12,500,000 or $12 billion. 12,500,000, okay? So to get the rates, what do I do with those two numbers? I just divide, don't I? I take the 24,865 divided by the 12,500. I get $1.99. Again, it's probably more than that, but rounding, don't round, just put the formula in. So now, then I take that rate times the actual activity, which is 150,000. So if you go back to this column up here, it says 150,000 direct labor hours right here. So 150,000 for this particular thing. I multiply that by the rate, and I get $268,300 $80 of overhead. Now, I take that divided by the 30,000, that's how many units I did, I get a rate of $9.95. Now, the other way, because there's an issue here, because they said it's $8 per unit, I take the $8 times the 30,000 times the 199. So there's actually two ways to do this. Okay? And so it gets a higher rate. But if you base it off of this information, then this is the rate. If you base it off of $8 per, because it says direct labor is $8, then this is the rate. Okay?
How do you get the 994?
I take this 298,380 and divide it by the number of units.
298,380 $1.99
Times the 150.
There's an issue because I just re-downloaded it and there's still no E.
On the
Excel sheet.
On the Excel sheet, there is no E at all. None of that stuff you have right there. is
I'll have
on
to take a look because I downloaded this from, it might be on the other class. That's the problem. Because remember I got two classes. Yeah,
We have online class.
yeah, two classes.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I had the right one, and you started doing that, and I was like, what the heck?
Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So make sure you guys get the homework in. If you want me to look at it before you turn it in, send it to me, okay? I can do that. Also, remember, when you're studying for this stuff, again, you're going to have access to all the homework problems, answers. You're going to have the access. You have access to all the answers to the problems in the book. So I would highly encourage you, the different ones that they have. You have to know how to do both weighted average and LIFO. We didn't go through an example of LIFO tonight. So, FIFO, I'm sorry, FIFO.
So we never went over FIFO.
Yeah, we haven't gone over LIFO. It's FIFO, weighted average and FIFO. So do the examples or do the problems in the book and then look on the answer key to see if you got it right. If you didn't, then, if you have any questions, send it to me. Hey, this is what I did. I'm not quite sure where I'm at, what I did wrong. Send it to me and I can take a look at it and find out exactly where you're having the issue at. Okay? But I'm going to provide you with, the forms on the test. So, I think that's going to help you guys with the test.
So pretty much just fill in the blank.
All right? All right.